Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Indrani. If you are new, welcome. In today's video, I will be sharing some of my completed coloring pages from Hannah Carlson's coloring books. This is the fourth part of a series where I have already posted 3 videos sharing pages I have colored this year. This year, I began coloring in Hannah's Daydreams and Midnight Masquerade coloring books, and I have already shared those finished pages in the new books section. If you enjoy my coloring, feel free to check out that video. In this video, I will be sharing my completed pages from these books. This is Tales from the Forest Kingdom coloring book, and I colored this book belongs to page. I colored this page with watercolor and I used a wooden stamp to create this pattern on this page. This particular leaf is called ginkgo leaves. I also used Derwent pencils to color the rest of the page. Please feel free to check out this video. I colored the next page with Derwent pencils and I colored the background with Dome's oil pastels. Since I used oil pastels for the background, I placed an A4 sheet over the page to prevent the colors from transferring to the next one. This can be avoided by using a fixative. In this regard, you can check out Maya's channel Colored by Maya. She is a wonderful artist. She uses fixative for oil pastels. I colored this page with White Nights watercolor and I colored the rest of the page with Faber-Castell polychromos. I also used Tombow brush pens to add this leafy background. The next page features a double page spread of portraits. I wanted to convey the theme of spring anticipating autumn or vice versa. I colored this spring page with watercolor, Tombow brush pens and Derwent pencils. And I colored the autumn page with Caran d'Ache Neo Color 2 and Derwent Light Fast pencils. I am not very comfortable coloring portraits, especially the nose area. I really want to improve in this because Hannah's book has many portraits to color. There is another portrait that I colored this year. I colored the background with White Nights watercolor and I used Derwent pencils to color this portrait. If you look at the nose area, you will see that I didn't quite get it right. I always struggle with this part when coloring portraits. Here is another portrait with bunnies and I colored this page during the Easter holidays. I colored this page with Brewster Artist colored pencils. Brewster Artist pencils are made in India by a company called Creative Hands. These pencils are wax based and highly pigmented. They have a soft core and they really blend well. For this page, I aimed to create a background inspired by a forest with fireflies. I created this background with White Nights watercolor and I used Derwent Artist pencils and Derwent Light Fast pencils to color the butterfly. For this page, I aim to create a background inspired by this large frog living underwater where the light is dim. Again, I use the same earth supplies and they are White Nights watercolor and Derwent pencils. Well, I will get to this page in a moment, but first I would like to show you the page behind it as there is a story behind it. I colored this entire page with White Nights watercolor. I also used Derwent pencils. However, while I was coloring this page with watercolor, the color bled through to the next page and ruined it. I was really upset about that. I was trying to figure out how to save the next page when I came up with an idea, coloring the background with oil pastels. And that's how I saved this page. I used Dome's oil pastels, which are made in India and work well. Though I haven't tried other brands, so I can't compare. You can watch the entire coloring process on my YouTube channel. My next page is quite an interesting one, at least to me. I know there are many techniques for coloring with pencils, such as hatching, cross hatching, stippling, pointillism, and so on. For this page, I decided to experiment with pointillism or dot painting. Since using pencils would take longer, I opted to use Caran d'Ache Neo Color 2 instead. So that's all I have colored from this book. My next coloring book is called The Tales from the City Among the Stars. And here is a double page spread. I colored the background of both the pages with Caran d'Ache Neo Color 2. The right side of the pages didn't have a background, so I decided to create this cloud design to make both pages look cohesive. On both the pages, I added numerous stars to the background as well. I also used Prismacolor pencils and Derwent pencils to color this page. I used the same color combination on both sides of the pages to create a cohesive look. My next coloring page is a complete mixed media artwork. I colored this page with click art pastel paints, colored pencils, and I colored the background with watercolor. For each page, I have a coloring video on my YouTube channel if you wish to watch them. I colored these Chinese lanterns using Derwent Lightfast pencils, and I was really happy with how they turned out. However, I decided to use watercolor for the background, and unfortunately, it didn't go well. I added so many elements that the page now feels cluttered and messy. The next page reminds me of the kite festival we celebrate in India each year. The festival is celebrated with flying kites, making sweets, and taking a holy dip in rivers. The festival is a time for celebration and unity, and people offer each other sweets. To color this page, I used watercolor and Derwent pencils. And that's all from this book. This is Seasons coloring book illustrated by Hannah Carlson. This was my first coloring book by Hannah Carlson, but I haven't colored much in it this year. I used Derwent Lightfast pencils to color these birds. I colored the bokeh background with White Nights watercolor, and I am happy with how it turned out. My next coloring page is also created with watercolor. I used White Nights watercolor for the base layer and applied Prismacolor pencils on top. Look at these colors. I love coloring with Prismacolor pencils, but unfortunately I can't afford them. They are quite expensive and they are not available as open stock in India. You can watch the coloring videos for both the pages on my channel. Finally, I have this jewelry box coloring book where I have completed a few coloring pages that I worked on this year. I colored this jewel themed key page. I colored the background with White Nights granulating watercolor. I also used metallic gold watercolor made by White Nights. I colored the key with Staedtler tinted watercolor pencils. There was no background in this page. I believe adding this floral corner design was a great idea. The next page has a winter theme. I added a large tree with bare branches and colored the background in a grey-purple tone using Caran d'Ache Neo Color 2. I colored the rest of the page with Derwent Lightfast pencils. The next page features a full bloom spring theme. I used a bright pink color for the flowers and applied the same pink to the jeweled snail. There is also a golden glow emanating from the snail's jewelry. I used Prismacolor pencils and White Nights watercolor to color this page. These are old pictures, but they are my all-time favorite. I think I have few pages to show you and then I will wrap up this video. As I mentioned earlier, this year I became brave enough to use watercolor on many coloring pages. When it comes to Hannah's books, the paper is really good and holds watercolors well. I colored this page with White Nights granulating watercolor and I also used Derwent pencils. I really like this page. You can watch the coloring video on my YouTube channel. This is the final page that I want to show you. Since there was no background on this page, I decided to add this floral design. For this page, I used Derwent Inktense pencils, White Nights watercolor, Posca pens, and colored pencils. That's the end of this video. I hope you enjoy my coloring and the videos I share on my YouTube channel from time to time. I'm truly grateful for your kind support and encouragement. I would like to wish everyone watching my channel a very happy new year. I hope 2025 brings happiness and peace. Here's to a joyful and colorful year ahead. Happy New Year and happy coloring. See you in the next video. Thanks again for watching this video.